know you don't like talking about medical stuff, but Nat Fife, how's he trying? I saw the report on the website last night. Ankle's all right, so he's...
Yeah, it's okay. It's swollen, but didn't suffer any severe damage. So, yeah, he won't train today, but he should train Friday. And if he jumps all the hurdles, should play. So, yeah, really quite confident.
It's hard to make too many changes considering Peel has had a couple of weeks off now with buys and state buys and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, it makes it a more difficult task to ascertain form. But yeah, we come out pretty healthy. Stephen Hill had a bit of a knock to the leg, and he'll be jogging around today, I think. So yeah, we're planning for everyone to be available. We made a really tough call last week. If we need to make a tough call for the benefit of the team, not so much the individual, we'll make it. So last week it was an incredibly difficult decision to, in the end, Alex Silvani not to play. And for Luke McFarlane to come in, but in hindsight, it would have been the easiest thing in the world to let Alex take his place in the team. But for our team balance, it was the right thing to leave him out, but incredibly tough to do. So what I'm talking to here is if we need to make tough decisions, we'll make them, and we will change the team if need be based on the ground, the conditions, and the opposition potential lineup.
With those boys that may have missed waffle games in recent weeks, have they done enough training to be ready to go on Sunday if need be?
Well, that's the aim, and that's why we've got so many full-time staff and experts to get them up, and the player commitment is to buy in and train intensely. So yeah, by our loads, they did as one of our heaviest loads of the equivalent of pre-season. So they worked really hard last week. And therefore, I mean, there's no substitute, we know that. But, yeah, they'll certainly be running fit, and they're just whether they're mentally sharp enough. So, yeah, we're confident, as much as we can be.
Has the last couple of weeks been one negative in the Peel Thunder alignment? Because sometimes I think in Waffle you can, last year and years gone by, they could have played reserves footy for the bottom club.
Yeah, it's fair to say it hasn't been an ideal situation, but, utopia doesn't exist, does it? So there's always positives and negatives, but it's what you choose to dwell on. And if you can't control it, don't worry about it. Do your best to make things up, and that's what we've done.
Ross, you probably didn't need the extra tall defender against the Bulldogs, but what area might you need to bolster to counter the Crows?
Look, we would have been playing 4 if we kept Alex in, because we've got Johnson, Dawson and Silvani, or any combination of those 4. Typically we have 3. So, I mean, Michael's a very good tall defender. He played on Cranberry a fair bit. Because if you can't, well, you need to be able to roll over and hand over. So we tend to go 3. It's unusual to go 4 if we thought it was absolutely necessary. But we were going to push one of them forward, either McFarlane, Johnson or Silvani, because they can all play forward. So our mix is pretty consistent. And with Ibbotson in the team, he can play tall as well. So it would be unusual for us, highly unusual for Silvani, Johnson, Dawson and McFarlane to be in any one team in defence. It's not. You tend to go a bit smaller and run off, bring it to ground and go.
Ross, I know you said after the game that Alex took it well. Did that ever get easier for you? Do you get
look,
immune to that sort of thing and think, well, I'm just going to do it anyway?
No, I've got genuine care and interest in my players. It's a responsibility of the position. And Alex took it as well as he could have. He's not happy. So we're under no illusions there. He's bitterly disappointed. He's not happy. There's a responsibility of the position. And it's just a reality that we're all going to deal with. And fortunately, he has a capacity to be quite resilient and carry himself really well. But yeah, I'm under no illusions. He's happy about it.
Do you have to, with Luke and some soft tissue injuries over the last couple of years, is he a player you have to manage a little bit more carefully?
Yeah, well, it's as best we can. Certainly, he's a little bit sore, so he'll just look after himself today. And Etihad's a hard surface with the car park underneath. The concrete foundations make it a bit harder. But yeah, it's a good point. But it happens through 2012. He hurt himself in round 22. That was a period where we probably should have rested him. But this time it's helping through. He's missed 2 weeks with the bye and the missed game, so there's 2 already. So it is hard to do when you've got a fit available Luke McFarlane, leave him out. I find it challenging personally.
Their midfield, Ross, a danger for you?
Yeah, I haven't had a real good look at him yet because it was a Sunday game, so we've still got a bit of our review to do. We're a bit different. We just don't do the review in one session and move on. We use it as a learning tool all week and get onto the opposition later in the week. So it's relatively early for us, but yeah, they're a real threat. You know, the Walker's up and about, Jenkins and Pozziotto, so 3 legitimate tools. Jacobs in the ruck, who I think he got subbed out because he was a bit sore. And then you got a really hard-running elite midfield and a competitive backline. So they're not too far off the mark. You know, I think it's really even the competition. You know, we're one win from 9th and one loss from 9th and a win away from 2nd on points. So it's a very even year, and you're seeing enough results to suggest that if you're not sharp and playing your best football, you're going to lose. So we've got a real challenge in front of us.
Ross, what did you make out of the clearance numbers on the weekend? I think it was down 15 and 12 to 3.
Yeah, look, we've been very good there. The Doggies were a very good clearance team. I thought their body work and predictability was a bit better than ours. But what we did do, even though we lost them, there was a lot of pressure on their clearances. So they didn't walk out of stoppages and expose our defence. They had to kick it along the ground or kick it up high, and they struggled to chain it out and break us. So, yeah, it wasn't ideal, but I thought collectively we worked hard to minimise the damage. But we would need to be better this week.
The Crows are the best in terms of average clearance side, centre clearance side.
On centre clearance, you're talking?
Centre
Yeah, our centre clearances weren't great, 312. But yeah, typically it's been an area we're pretty strong. So we respect all of them, but we don't fear anyone.
There seems to be a bit of a trend where teams are losing key stats but still winning the game. Have you noticed that?
No, it's not something I sort of look at, but as I mentioned last night, quantitative studies, they gave me a book, statistics, lies, damn lies. So it's how you want to interpret them.
Are there particular combinations that you look at, say inside 50s by themselves might not be relevant, but you team that with...
It's like Kentucky Fried, mate. It's a secret formula. Keep it to myself.
Ross, where Aaron's at in his career, Zach appears we're getting back to good grades.
Just amusing myself, yeah.
Have you worked on that one?
No, just for Justin. Yeah. When he gets a haircut, I'll take him seriously.
Where Aaron's at in his career, Zach seems to have got a good base fit. Do you look at changing that percentage and trying to get more of Zach on the ball and Aaron up forward and looking ahead?
Yeah, that's a really good point. Really good question. It's going to occur at times, and we'd like to shift it that way. I can tell you what the exact percentages are. I probably should know, but I don't. But Zach's really developing as a forward. You know, he did a lot of damage as a forward on the weekend. And he did a lot of damage the previous 2 weeks as a forward. So he's grown. His mobility's, I mean, he's elite. So and we know he's really capable in the ruck, but he's still building to his best form in there as well. So yeah, at some point it's going to keep shifting. It'll help Aaron, and Aaron's a real weapon forward. So yeah, they're starting to work together really well, and there's some pressure. John Griffin's really starting to come on, and Jack Hanneth down there. So we're a little bit spoilt in that area at the minute, but last year highlighted how quickly that can change. Thanks, guys.
Ross, sorry, Scott Gumbleton, is he a chance to resume in the Waffles?
Yeah, he is. He needs to get through. I haven't got all the information at my fingertips, and I thought it was going to be a bit earlier, but I think it'll be 4 weeks full training, I think, pretty much. So if he can get through this week, I think he will be available, but he's got a couple of sessions to get through.
And could I also just ask you about zones? John Worsfold's suggestion that the Rules Committee may look at it, not favourably responded to by some coaches. What do you have here?
Yeah, what? So John's on the Rules Committee, and did the Rules Committee float it, or John's personal opinion?
Yeah.
That's where it gets confusing. So people on the Rules Committee, it was like Kevin Bartlett, and I think that might be why he's no longer on it, because you're either on the committee and representing the committee, or you're driving your own agenda. So I'm a bit confused as to what it is. If it's a formal presentation from the rules committee is serious, I would talk to it. But I think it's just flying a kite and engendering some discussion. But there was some satirical takes on it by the other coaches, wasn't there? So.
Yeah, would you be sort of philosophically opposed to having 3 from each team stuck in, say, the forward 50?
Would you like to see it?
Probably prefer not to. But
No.
I guess if I was going to see it, maybe first week of pre-season or something.
Yeah, let's destroy everyone's pre-season. We're in an elite competition trying to get ready for an AFL season where we need to win, and then all of a sudden we'd be the only elite competition in the world that goes into a brutal competition not practicing the rules they're going to play in season. So I struggle with that concept, even though we're there to experiment. My take is, and I'm really firm on this, that the uniqueness and the magnificence of Australian rules football always finds a way. And to be honest, a lot of people, I think the rules committee, John's a bit different, but I mean, you can have discussions. Some people say it's flooding, some people it's pressing, next minute it's congestion. I think the real technical knowledge and competencies are limited, and I think that's where the coaches have a role to play, or even some current ex-coaches that can really explain what actually happens, because I think people judge it in relation to their preferred biases, and they see what they want to see as opposed to what's really occurring out there. So. But for me, I've got a game to play this week. I think the game's in great shape. Tex kick 5, Buddy and Tippett are a dynamic duo up there. They're kicking 20 goals a week, and there's a few teams kicking 16. So I think all the panic merchants just need to have a cup of tea and a scone and just relax, and let's see how we go. And I'm sure we'll have a great final series again this year. So
Maybe some Kentucky Fried.
well, that's for Justin. Thanks.